Hello. Yeah. How are you guys doing today? So raise your hands if you are an AI powered user. You use AI every day of your life, every hour, every second of your life. Like you're so dependent on it. Like that's the future you're looking for. I mean, if you say no to AI, you're gonna be less productive, and the new generation is gonna take over you. So I'll be speaking more on terms of the decentralized AI network that we are heading at Unreal AI. So let me give a quick background about myself. I am Hiro. I actually came to Web3 because of my expertise in Golang engineering and building distributor multi-service architectures on OTT service called Z. I hope you all heard of it. Like, yeah, I customize the gap to an extent for a company. That's how I get into Web3. Then moving forward, I started working with Falcon. So the Falcon was the first decentralized physical infrastructure network for storage. They were the first to build the IPFS, your interplanetary network file system. So yeah, and yeah, worry. Yeah, so early in the days, so we realized that storage itself is not the problem. So we solved at Falcon was that archive data. So we ensure that the enterprises can securely and in a decentralized manner store store data in decentralized. Like what happened was that in an enterprise, like it was like a couple of enterprises who were affiliated to AWS, and an AWS data center went down. And guess what? The downtime of the that a data center costed the company. The company went bankrupt because they weren't able to service the customers for 14 weeks. So there was nothing recovery. I mean, the redundant data, the redundancy, all those that was tied to AWS service were all hosted in the affected AWS data centers. So that's what happens when you choose cost over decentralization. So decentralization is about resiliency, and that's what I'm here to talk about in terms of AI providers that you're gonna choose. So at Unreal AI, what we realized in the era of AI was around that 2022, I would say, is that AI compute is only gonna the demand for AI compute is only gonna go bigger and bigger. You're gonna have programs, like instead of programs you're gonna have AI models, and there are gonna be more and more agents. So the demand for AI compute is growing and growing, and there is not a centralized provider that can meet the demand for these models. Like you would have OpenAI hosting like 20 models, for instance. That's the limit. That's how many models they would be able to reliably host for their enterprises. So at Unreal AI, what we do is that we build a network of these data centers so that you can host the models that you want on the by tying you up on SLAs with the data centers out there. Your data is securely stored. Your AI compute, you can infer from data centers in Dubai. You can infer from data centers in America. You can infer from data centers around the globe. You can actually leverage ideal GPU compute in one location and cost effectively use AI inference for your consumers. Like for instance, for India, you can actually use the ideal GPU time at San Francisco, and that goes a long way in saving your AI costs. Yeah, that's about me. Do you have any more questions? Go ahead, guys. So then I'll probably have to ask questions. I'm gonna. So I would go. So raise your hands if you're a founder of a startup, AI startup, or you're integrating AI in any manner to your startup. Oh, me? Yes, we have two. Yes, we have two.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that you means instead of AWS and all, you provide Web3 way of handling the reliability of the data.
Resiliency.
Yeah.
Data resiliency.
Okay.
Not replication, resiliency.
Okay. So resiliency. Means on AWS we have the guarantee of the data center being, let's just say I select Mumbai and all these regions on whatever I want the data to be hosted,
Yeah.
and this makes sure that I have at least an idea on which data center is going down and how to handle that. In the Web3 domain, in the decentralized way, how are you ensuring that, let's just say your few nodes are down, and how will you make sure that user gets an idea not to fetch on these nodes? User means the customer, those who are integrating your services. How can they get an idea on these services are down or not?
So, have you heard of something called as internet downtime? This has been happening a lot recently. So, if you're wondering why your GitHub was down momentarily or your Facebook was down, that's because of the internet. Like the amount of the data, like the terabytes of data that's being transferred per second has gone enormously high, and one single flaw on the network hardware actually costs a lot of seconds for us. Essentially, it costs a lot of downtime for us. So what we do is that with data resiliency and decentralized compute, what happens is that if your data center is not able to service you at some point in time, you can easily roll over to another data center, or you can essentially do distributed computing over the entire geographies that you're situated in, if that makes sense.
Sorry, maybe there was
Routing, I guess.
yeah. Means how you said that you can route to another data center. Is it done from your end, or means let's just say I am sending the request? So how would I be able to identify if this node is down or this particular service is facing downtime?
It's essentially how your router works.
Yeah, I got that.
Yes. So you're able to match the downtime. We are able to realize the downtime. There's something called as ICMP pinging. So every 60 milliseconds. So you're able to figure out if your data center is not able to service this request at that point.
Yeah, means you are saying that the normal Web2 approach that we use ping by the ping only you are checking that if it is downtime there or not.
Yeah, it's not about, it's an intelligent thing actually. It's about the amount of GPU. So every time you do an AI inference, it's costing GPU compute. So we see if the AI data center is able to service your request at that point.
Okay,
and we also employ a token bucket mechanism to ensure that there is an on-queuing, just in case if there are not enough data centers to service your requests.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that was a lot. I mean, I have some questions to ask. I think you were asking a lot of people. I think it's your turn now to answer me a few things. So, since you are building Unreal AI on decentralized infrastructure, how do you balance the trade-offs between decentralization, performance, and adoption when scaling AI platforms for real-world use? I mean, just the real-world use.
So it turns out actually, decentralization comes as an advantage. Centralization becomes a disadvantage. So if you notice why OpenAI is asking for like hundreds of billions, why it's investing, and why it has to come to an agreement with Oracle for $300 billion agreements, it's because it's not able to meet the request. So decentralization gives you this prediction market for investors to what data centers, what specific geographies to invest, and also enables to switch over faster and at much better how do I put it? So let's just say if your typical backend servers servers are able to handle millions of requests per second, your AI data center won't be able to do it because AI GPUs are very expensive, 25,000 plus cost per GPU. So the max you will be able to handle is that with one GPU like H100, you'll be able to handle 2,500, not even 2,500, 200 tokens per second. So if you look at it, we are at the early stages. Like what we can do with our CPUs and GPUs are completely different. This AI GPU, the GPUs that we have, like the models that we have, are gigantic machines. Like they take as much as a human baby takes. Like they need a lot of nourishment, which is essentially GPU compute, and GPU compute is expensive. So you need more investment decentralized, because There is no single provider that can go and say that we can reliably give you that much GPU compute. That's why we have put it here. I mean, that's why Ola would never be able to be like consumer for OpenAI. It would hold off the entire network for AI GPU network because it's like very big. Like it uses it for scooters, it uses for IoTs, and it's a single company would be able to hold off and essentially capture the AI data center network. So that's what OpenAI is doing right now with Microsoft, and that's the reason. That's why Azure was a bit affected. That's why they had to like switch over. So we have case studies that lead us in the way. Decentralized AI is the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would just like to wait. We have some gift for you. I hope you will like it.
All right.
So, have it.
I'd like to take a